How are you all? Well, this is another Parallax test, number 3. Nice to see everybody brought their brains. Excellent. Well, first thing I want you all to do with it, your brain that is close it. That's right, close it. Don't open it. No open minds here. Close your mind off. It's a big mistake everyone makes, especially when they're told to open their mind. No, I want you to have a closed mind because I need you to use it. I don't want you to have an open mind so that you're able to take in information that doesn't make sense, which is obviously why they do it. But I want you to have a closed mind so that you can use it. I want you to think with what you know already. It's the only way to do it. Okay, well, first off, I want you to listen to what NASA says here. And please pay attention, but keep your mind closed. And note what she says right at the end. Okay, here we go.
An alignment of planets presented by science at NASA. Note to sky watchers, put on your winter coats. What you're about to hear might make you feel an uncontrollable urge to dash outside. The brightest planets in the solar system are lining up in the evening sky, and you can see the formation, some of it at least, tonight. Go out at sunset and look west. Venus and Jupiter pop out of the twilight even before the sky fades completely black. The two brilliant planets surrounded by evening blue is a beautiful sight. If you go out at the same time tomorrow, the view improves because Venus and Jupiter are converging. In mid-February, they are about 20 degrees apart. By the end of the month, the angle narrows to only 10 degrees, so close that you can hide them together behind your outstretched palm. Their combined beauty grows each night as the distance between them shrinks. A special night to look is Saturday, February 25th, when the crescent moon moves in to form a slender heavenly triangle with Venus, Jupiter, and the moon as vertices. One night later, on Sunday, February 26th, it happens again. This arrangement will be visible all around the world, from city and countryside alike. The moon, Venus, and Jupiter are the brightest objects in the night sky. Together, they can shine through urban lights, fog, and even some clouds. After hopping from Venus to Jupiter in late February, the moon exits stage left, but the show is far from over. In March, Venus and Jupiter continue their relentless convergence until, on March 12th and 13th, the duo lie only 3 degrees apart, a spectacular double beacon in the sunset sky. Now you'll be able to hide them together behind a pair of outstretched fingertips. There's something mesmerizing about stars and planets bunched together in this way, and no, you're not imagining things when it happens to you. The phenomenon is based on the anatomy of the human eye. Your eye is a bit like a digital camera, explains optometrist Dr. Stuart Hiroyasu of Bishop, California. There's a lens in front to focus the light, and a photo array behind the lens to capture the image. The photo array in your eye is called the retina. It's made of rods and cones, the organic equivalent of electronic pixels. There's a tiny patch of tissue near the center of the retina where cones are extra densely packed. This is called the fovea. Whatever you see with the fovea, you see in high definition, Hiroyasu says. The fovea is critical to reading, driving, watching television. The fovea has the brain's attention. In the weeks ahead, the moon and planets will frequently appear near enough to each other for us to see them in high definition. The field of view of the fovea is only about 5 degrees wide. Almost every night in March, Venus and Jupiter will fit within that narrow cone. And when they do, presto, it's spellbinding astronomy. Standing outdoors, mesmerized by planets aligned in a late winter sunset, you might just forget how cold you feel. Bring a coat anyway. For more spellbinding science news, check science.nasa.gov.
Okay then, so you all heard that, especially that last bit, for more spellbinding information, or news or whatever it was. Mate, yeah, well at least she was honest. Okay, here we go. If we're spinning, right, and therefore that's the movement of the stars, then when the so-called planets are moving like they are there, Venus is next to the sun. Jupiter's way out. And then you've got the stars supposed to be light years away and all this sort of thing. Yeah? Well, we're only spinning at 1,038 miles per hour. Man, I'm getting sick of saying that. But also travelling at 66,000 miles an hour around the sun. And I'll get sick of saying that too. If you think about it, if we're travelling, okay, we're travelling around the sun, okay, that fast, so they say. If that's the case, then Venus, while we're looking at it, and Jupiter, and the stars in the background, should all be shifting their position. Shouldn't they? Not just falling with the rest of the stars. They should be parallaxing like crazy. We're moving on an angle around the sun. Apparently that's so far out from the sun, and then so's Jupiter. So you line that up, and if we're travelling around that way, unless those two are moving in a way that keeps them in that position perfectly, which they aren't, because they'd have to be going backwards in their orbit. See, this is what I mean. You just use your brain. You don't listen to what they say. It's just stupid. Listen to it so you can pull it apart, because it shows you, like I say, it shows you that they're full of it. And how's this high definition spot in your eye? That's the way they described that was just absolutely stupid. Because what did they say? They said there's a 3-degree spot, and because of this spot behind your eye, presto, you get a high definition picture. Anything you look at that falls in that spot would be high definition. So, not because those two stars have come together doesn't mean, oh, presto, your eye suddenly changes. What is she talking about? See what I mean? Like, they just blow people's minds with absolute crap, and people just soak it up. But there's no way that we can be doing all the stuff they say we're doing and not see shift in the way I said we should see it. That is just crazy thinking. And that's why they want you to have an open mind, so you can take it in and not question it. You need to have a closed mind, so anything that comes anywhere near it, you don't let in there without it having the right combination. It needs to fit a requirement. It needs to be scrutinised. But they don't want you to do that. They don't want you to have a critical mind. They don't want you to think. They don't want you. They don't want a population of people with the ability to think for themselves. They don't want people who question what they say. That's why they're building what they're building. Why would they be building it people aren't going to be thrashing against it. There's no need, is there? But they're building it right in front of your eyes. And they're telling you you're the reason they have to build it. They're building a prison. Because this one is about to fall apart. And they're scared. You remember the French Revolution? You know what that was about? You know that, what Marie Antoinette, or whatever her name is, said, let them eat cake? What that was about was the rich people were living it up while the rest were going through poverty, starving and dying from it. And the people said, bugger this. Hey, look at them. All their houses are all lit up. Smoke coming out their chimneys 24/7. Food vans arriving. Staff. Well, look how many of us are starving. Let's do something about this. And they went and just booted them out of their houses. Some of them they killed, and it was a pretty horrible time. But because of that, the rich people got wise and realised they need to make protection. And so we've got what we have here today. Why? Because they're scared. They are scared. If people get wise to what's going on, they're out. People will rise up. But they don't understand that they treat the people that protect them like crap and pay them a crap wage. So their protection is weak, really. That's why they drug them and brainwash them and all this sort of stuff. But they are scared. They're scared of you finding out that the reason that they will never be taxed fairly is because they threaten to leave the country and take their business with them. What government is going to say, oh, well, go? None. They're none of them. None of them are going to say that. Maybe the good countries, but they've gotten rid of all them and called them, called them dictators and all sort of thing, and gone in and taken over by brute force and just done horrible things in the name of democracy and freedom and liberty and human rights. They got rid of them all. But they threatened to leave the country. Yeah, go on, up the taxes, go for it. We'll just move to another country where they won't do it. You see? And the government's never going to do it. They can't afford to. These people can afford to just say, we'll go somewhere else. And then we'll just use a company that already trades through you to bring our product here. We'll get around it. So they will never tax them fairly. Don't ever believe that they're going to do it. What's the definition of insanity? The definition of insanity is repeating the same thing, the same process, over and over and expecting a different outcome. So how many of you are voting this year? You need to ask yourself, why don't they do what you need? Why don't they do what you want? Why don't they look after you? Why don't they do their job? You need to ask yourself that. What man in his right mind could be justified for listening to crazy people? if your government does what you want, then they're listening to crazy people. Because by definition, that's what you are. They keep lying to you, and you keep them in power. They never do what you want. They never have, never will. And you keep going and doing what they want you to do. It's absolutely nuts. But as far as they're concerned, you're insane. And they can prove it. Because you keep repeating the same things and expecting a different outcome. It's never going to happen. Logic. They can use logic against it. People don't think. People don't question. People don't look at what things really are like. And it's not that they don't want to. It's that they've been made to not do it. Just not to. That's all. It's because they don't want them to. That's why they've got so many tactics. So many angles of attack. I'm going to get a coffee. So, people need to wise up to them. Realise that these people are not here for your benefit. Never have, never will be. They may have at one stage, but they're not the same people we're talking about. The people in power today are not the same people that were in power then. But you guys are going to love it when I get to the prophecies. But anyway, how can you believe what NASA says? Hey? How can you believe what NASA says? We can't. I don't. And you shouldn't. Because they're lying to you. It's obvious. And they get ladies with a nice voice, sound smart, to present it to you. You all know that she's just a presenter, don't you? So yeah, this is why they're doing it all. They're just scared. They're scared of you. But they should be scared for you. If they were working in your favour, would there be any need? They wouldn't even need armies. Apply the brakes to that conversation. We'll just put that one aside for a second. So I want to show you in this bit of footage here. This is what they were talking about. So what we said that over so many nights, that's just stupid. That's what I'm talking about. It should be changing. Venus should be getting further and further out from the sun as we're going around towards the other side of the sun. Do you know what I mean? So why and look, there goes the moon. Look at the parallax. But that's over progressive nights. We should see that. Really. We should be seeing that sort of shift Not that dramatic, but obviously, but we should be seeing some sort of shift during the night while we're looking at it. Well, that's... So over the night, the moon will move past. But Venus, the morning star, and the other one, Jupiter, whatever, hate saying their names, but they should cross while we're looking at them. But they don't. The moon moves with the sky and the stars, and it all moves together. And the next night we see a bit of shift. That's just silly. Because think about it, the speed that they're crossing the sky over the night, over the evening, yeah? The speed with which they're crossing the sky, what's that? That's 1/66th of the speed we're travelling around the sun. So they say, well, what they say is wrong, isn't it? 1/66th of the speed the stars are crossing the sky, we're supposed to be going around the sun. Do you understand how that's just crazy? How it doesn't make sense, doesn't fit together? They're lying to you. It's obvious. It is so obvious. Okay? Their model doesn't work. And Venus didn't seem to move as much as Jupiter. There's your parallax. But the Earth, the globe, the ball Earth, apparently is travelling around the sun 66 times faster than they're going across the sky. I want that point to just set in, because that's what we're talking about. That's what they're saying. This is what they're telling us. We're travelling that fast. So now you have something to compare the speed you're supposed to be going around the sun. So, straight up, the distance between Venus and the sun should be growing if we're going around the sun that way. Or it should be shrinking, sorry. Because the sun's coming up here, so it's to the left of us, and we're travelling 90 degrees to that, sort of parallel to the sun, yeah? And so Venus should be shrinking towards the sun. And it should be shrinking towards the sun at the distance should be shrinking at 66 times the speed that those stars and the moon are crossing the sky. That's just looking at it the way they want you to look at it. That's just seeing it through the eyes of what they say. And it should be doing it at the speed that I'm saying, 66 times faster than the stars are crossing the sky. It's just the way it is. There's no way around it. There's no way out of it. So you have to think about it. Okay then. We'll go back to the conversation we were talking about before. Talking about the rich people. Look at the work that David did, David Weiss. Look at the work that he did on Gaddafi and that. Man, that opened my eyes. I already had a feeling, and already knew that the world was being run by people putting other people in place and stuff. I knew that. But I didn't realise how much the people were happy. Those people were really happy. And you can see in those videos, he points up and he's pointing to God. He's, That was beautiful. But look at what we've been presented. And then think of those pictures they showed us of him. When, apparently they were hurting him. And he was being bashed and stuff. That's what they showed us. They showed us the torturing of him, and they showed us that he was a nasty, evil man. By right, we know that this system is evil. Inherently evil. It just is. And it was always going to be. It is supposed to be like this. But the veil is also supposed to be lifted. This is what I intend to do. And this is what should be the push, the goal. Just keep lifting the veil. Every time they bring something out, just expose it. Just show people, can you believe it? Do you think this is real? And when they say yes, start explaining to them. Give them eyes. And do it with humility. Do it with love. Don't worry, my microwave it's not a microwave, it's a heater. So that's why I said to you to keep your mind closed, because it's about truth, and you will not find truth with an open mind. You can't. If you have your mind open, then you're not evaluating, you're not investigating. These are the things that all of a sudden started to be missing from investigation. Look at San Bernardino. Look at Orlando. Look at all of these shootings and things that are going on. Are they investigating them like they're supposed to be? No. They're not. They're not even carrying them out like they're supposed to be. Aren't they supposed to negotiate with terrorists? Especially ones with hostages? So they used to do, remember? I've seen movies. You know? The negotiator and stuff. I don't get it. Don't watch movies anymore, but when I did, I remember seeing a lot of negotiating scenes with people that were just committing the same sorts of things that we're seeing on television now, but it seems that what we're seeing is the fiction and what we're seeing in the movie seems to be the reality, or what the reality is supposed to be. Yeah. So I actually don't know easier ways to get out the message rather than to show. Like I've said before, actions speak louder than words. And honesty is the best policy. I haven't said that one before, but it is. So yeah. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed my video. And yeah, just another one. I'm going to keep looking for more examples. But I think I've basically exhausted it. Yeah. There's no way. There's no way. We all know it. It's in our faces. And we just gotta expose it. Expose it for what it is. But realise at the same time they've set it up. They've set it up. Ready and waiting for it. Okay? But yeah. The people they're using are us. So yeah, they can't really do it. They can't really do anything. Okay. Thank you again. I love yous and ladies. God bless you all, and bye.